what it do. I'm talking about, let's chop it up.
Welcome back to the Let's Chop It Up podcast. It's your brother Mo here with my boy Whiteout. And we got somebody in the house today. Man, I'm just saying, like, people don't understand how good God is. We thank you for even giving us this opportunity.
Wow.
For people who don't know, this is brother Marcus Sullivan.
Hey, here.
What's good, brother?
That's a nice intro, man. Got to humble myself through the whole interview now. Nah. What's up, man? I'm glad I'm actually here. And then we was just talking off the air. It's got to be God because I don't even remember how the conversation started. Man. But I'm excited. I'm here, and it fit into the schedule to get it done.
It just popped up on the calendar. 1 p.m. interview.
But you know what? And usually stuff like that happens, and then life happens, and then you're like, yo, I got to push this back. And I was just like, nah, I'm good. Like, so I'm here.
See, when I was introducing you, I was thinking, I'm like, should I say NGEN? Should I say Fox? Should I say TMZ? Man, brother, you've done so much.
Say it all, bro. Yeah.
Man, God has opened doors for you.
Yeah.
Man. But that's hard work, though.
It's a story behind it, bro. It's a mean story behind it.
Yeah, it's funny because when you walked in, you asked us about ourselves, and I was joking around with you about me being from Memphis, right?
Right, exactly.
Which I'm not. I'm from Houston.
Okay.
But the crazy thing is, brother, you from Memphis, and you came back. You came to Texas, Houston, back in what, like 98?
I got here in 98.
How old were you, Mo? Like 8?
Yeah.
Were you?
Yeah.
So you're a youngster right now?
Yeah, I'm 30.
Well, yeah.
I'm 30.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But it's crazy, bro. You came here on a scholarship, huh?
Yeah, football scholarship.
U of H.
Yeah.
Go Cougars.
Right.
Huh?
So, I got here. I was like a lot of people, man. Athlete, all state, big dreams, have big opportunities to go a bunch of different places. And at the time, I thought everybody was like, you need to have a backup plan in case football doesn't work, right?
Okay, so you were sold out, like, I'm going to be an NFL superstar.
I was going, if you had asked the 16, 17-year-old me, I'm going pro. That's what the goal was, right? And then I was like, well, what could the backup plan be, right? And I ended up saying I wanted to work for NASA. I don't know where that came from. Yeah. So, and I was like maybe an astronaut. I didn't even realize how many jobs people have at, I'm thinking that job. Yeah. And so, I narrowed my schools down from the University of Hawaii, Indiana, UCLA. Funny part about UCLA is that's a communication school, right? And had I known I would have ended up in broadcasting, I would have went to UCLA.
Wow.
But I thought I was going to be working for NASA or this astronaut maybe. And so Houston, we have a problem, right? Yeah. And so I was like, I got to go there because NASA is there, U of H engineering program, and I wanted to be an aeronautical engineer. I can't even spell that to them, right? Right? And so, man, I signed with U of H, and I remember studying, trying to be the student athlete, studying, putting in the work, going to the tutor, and I remember chemistry, and I remember going to the chemistry test, taking the test, and giving it my best shot, and I walked out with a D. And I was just like, yo, this might not be for me, right? Yeah. And after a while, I remember making a phone call. This is 98, so I hit the payphone joint, and I called my mom, and I was like, Mom, I'm here to play football. And she was like, no, you're here to go to school. And I was like, hey, I can go to school. I can go to school back home, right? Yeah. And so she was like, well, what are you going to do? And I was like, I know what. I'm going to be an actor.
Oh, man.
She hung up on the phone.
Will Smith.
Yeah, man, she hung up.
Hey, went from NASA to acting.
Because I knew I couldn't. I was like, yo, I couldn't pass the first chemistry, right? You know how many math and sciences to get to an engineering degree? Like,
I've seen the movies. Hidden Figures.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. So after that, it was like, what can I do that I love? And I was like, if I don't play pro football, I want to at least broadcast it because I know about it. Yeah. And so I took up communication. And as God would have it, man, my career just right after that.
Were you saved at this point? Did you know about Christ?
Or my saved story is so different, bro. Like, I used to lead the youth choir. Okay. But I used to go to church because my mom would take me and my cousins and drop us off of a grandma's house, and we'd get in a little church van and we'd go into church because Granny go to church, not because we wanted to go. Yeah. And the church was so small, me and my cousins was the youth choir, right? Yeah. So I led the youth choir. And so I guess I could say I grew up in the church on weekends when I would go over to Granny's house. And so then, I did the typical teenage thing when you stray away, right?
Yeah.
And then when I got into college and got a U of H, actually Pastor Maceo, Maceo Smedley is his name. He's a pastor in Houston now, but he was he was a dorm member, and he invited me to go to the on-campus prayer thingy, right?
Yeah.
And so I was just like, okay, cool, and I went. And we didn't really even stay in touch that much after that, right? And it's funny, nowadays I know exactly where he is and what he's doing, but he was the one that invited me as not even a teammate, right? And he was just a regular guy. Yeah. And I kind of just hung around church a little bit, and then it took me, when my radio career kind of first took off a little bit, for me to come back to the faith. So yeah. And then, and I'm so thankful for it to happen the way it did because of the wisdom lessons that I learned. So, yeah.
Have you seen that movie called Show Me the Father? Have you heard of it?
No.
It's the same guys that did like Fireproof.
Yeah. All the good Christian movies.
Yeah. Well, they did one called Show Me the Father. It's more like a documentary.
Okay.
But it has a lot of football players in it.
Oh, wow.
As they were going through college.
Yeah.
It's crazy stories. You know what I'm saying? Like Tony Evans speaks on it.
I love Tony Evans. Yeah.
That's a good movie. You should watch it though. But it kind of reminds me, because there's a lot of people that go to college. They're going to be a football player. And somehow Jesus shows up.
Man. Show up on Sundays for sure. Yeah.
I mean, I would imagine with those practices, how crazy is practice? Like, coaches screaming at you? Is it the way they depicted in movies?
Yeah, it is, because just like college, a lot of college people may be watching this. You become a number, right?
Yeah.
The business of things. A lot of us played sports in high school, and it was because we loved the sport, right? I'm out here, my homeboys out here, and we just doing it for Friday night, and this is what we. And then you get to college, and it's like, oh, no. We recruited another guy who is from Houston, and he was a star in Houston, so he's got to play. You know what I mean? We just brought you here from Tennessee, right? But that guy was a star. We remember seeing him in the paper, so he's going to, like, it becomes so political, right? Yeah. And so, you get coaches screaming at you or not giving you time because of the politics of sports. So I look at a lot of athletes in pro sports, and I'm like, man, you not only had the God-given talent, but you had the business savvy and the maturity to deal with a lot of that. Yeah. So,
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Speak to us about September 11, 2001.
Ooh.
Because that was a big day for America.
Man.
But where were you at? Tell us about that day for you.
I tell a lot of people, man. That's why I say my testimony is a God story, bro, because it's a lot of highlighted days that I will never forget because of something else, right? 9/11/2001, one of probably the biggest day in American history, right?
Yeah.
It's definitely the biggest day in my career. I started my radio internship that day, right? Wow. And I remember, I have to go back before that day. I was working at CarMax, and we're in Houston. You watching Worldwide, but we're in Houston, and CarMax is on the southwest side of town. Yeah. And I was coming out of my football career, coming to the end of it, and I still had some time left in school. And I was like, I got to get an internship. And remember, I said I wanted to be an actor, so I was trying to find stuff in communications. And I'm working at CarMax, and my job was to prep the cars, right? Prep the cars mean clean them, right? So when you show up to get your car, it's like, here you go, here's your BMW, it's clean, it's vacuum. And so, like,
where my change at? No,
that part, right? No, so my boss at the time would always say, Marcus, do not program the radio stations in the car, because when the buyer gets the car, he don't want to know if somebody was listening to country music before him, rock music, rap music, whatever. So just leave them on static stations. And I was like, man, if I got to clean it, I at least want to jam out, right? Yeah. So I remember cleaning the car, and I hit seek. I think it was a Champagne ES. This is crazy how I remember. Champagne ES 300 Lexus or something like that, right? Wow. And I hit seek, and it stopped. I was looking for 97.9 The Box, which is a legendary station here in Houston, and it stopped on 97.5. Right, you know, you hit seek, it just and it stopped right before 97.9. And I'll never forget, the song that was going off was a Mary J. Blige. Let's get it crunk up on it. I think it's called No More Drama or whatever that song was. It was going off, and this is how I remember the story. And right after that, the promo came on, and the promo was the new Power 97. It's crazy how I remember this, right? Yeah. The new Power 97.5, looking for interns, right? And I was like, intern, radio is stupid. I literally used to say radio was stupid from the TV show Martin. I thought radio was the dumbest thing ever. And I was like, looking for interns. Okay. And so I'm left-handed. I take a pen and I try to write it in my hand because I knew I was cleaning the cars with my right hand.
The phone number.
Yeah.
Okay.
And websites was kind of just popping in.
Yeah.
And so I'm cleaning cars like this the rest of the day. And I get home and I go online and I find it. And I literally called the station. This is like 2 weeks before 9/11. And the guy, which it can't happen today because everything is online now. You can't just pull up anymore. And the guy answers the phone and he was just like, yeah, bro, come on up.
Man.
And I was like,
just like that?
Yeah. And so me being a college kid, I'm like, let me dress for the job that I want.
Yeah.
So I show up 5 a.m, shirt, tie, slack, all of this. And he opens the door, do-rag, hat turned to the side, flip-flops on, right? Now, hindsight, I know what working mornings are now. And I dress like that in the morning now, right?
Yeah.
But back then, so I walked through the door and the first thing he said to me was, man, radio is about your personality. It ain't got nothing to do with the way you look. Now we're in 2021, 22, 23, whatever. It's all about how you look, right?
Yeah.
But so I go in and I remember him saying, hey, go in the other room, right? This is first day at work. Go in the other room and look through the news clippings and the headlines and find us something to talk about during our news segment, right? So I go into the other room and then I come back and I'm like, man, it's a slow day in Houston, man, but I think a little small plane hit a building in New York, right? And he was like, what? That's crazy. Pull a story up. And we pull a story up, bro. And we're trying to piece the story together. And we flipping CNN, MSNBC. And boom, another one happens. And we're just like, wow. And we know what happens after that.
Yeah.
Everything goes crazy. And I remember the program director goes, you found that story? Of course, everybody was going to find it. But he goes, man, you are going to have a great career. And I go, how? And he says, you will never have a worse day of work than this. Like, it'll never be a rougher day to work than this day, as far as media, right? And man, that was it. That was my first day at work, man. Imagine coming home telling your roommate like, yo, bro, I broke that story in Houston, you know. So bro, that was one of my first stories.
Wow.
That's crazy.
And back then, that was like, y'all would research on AOL.com.
Yeah, we're looking everywhere for that.
Internet was slow.
Like, it wasn't pull it up and
I was about to say, I just kept on looking at my phone.
Bro,
I'm like,
I walked into the other room and I was like, bro, because like now hindsight, you go to the documentaries, it's still like you kind of knew it was happening, right? Because it's hindsight. Yeah. But I remember that day, man. I was just looking and I was like, man, actually, I remember the biggest story that day. And the radio station was right in the Galleria next to the Williams Tower, tallest building in Houston. Yeah. A guy had jumped from the building and killed himself like maybe midnight that night. It was morning show, right? And so that was the story that I had. But I was just like, man, but a plane hit a building. And that's where we went with it. So,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
That would definitely leave an impression on somebody if like, that was my first day.
Yeah, bro. And I tell a lot of college kids when I talk to them now, I'm like, I got some radio. My career needs to be literally a book. Like, it's
real. About the radio, about the media.
Tell us about whenever you snuck into All-Star Weekend.
See, there you go. I like that. Okay, so just to even go into that story, that was an amazing story. So I started on 9/11, right? 9 months later, Juneteenth, right? Juneteenth happens. Juneteenth 02, right? That's the day I actually went from intern to paid employee.
6 months or what?
I think it was in 9 months.
9 months, okay.
Wait, September, it's like 9 months.
The crazy thing about it, I think you had mentioned there was like 96 of y'all that started off as interns, and you're the only one left still in radio.
Yeah. And I was gonna say in my intern class, they would bring us in by the droves, and I remember sitting around the room, and it was when I say a gang of people, it was 96 of us that started, and you know what? To this day, I don't even know if they're left. People that started, I think I might be the only one left. Man. Yeah, to this day.
Wow.
Right.
So everybody else just has to like look for another career.
Well, I mean, that's the way the game works, right? Because if you think about radio station or TV station, if you're watching this wherever you're watching it, think about your local TV station or your local radio station and how many personalities that you hear on your station, right? Yeah. It's not going to be more than 9, right? So I tell people it's the equivalent of going pro on a basketball team, right? Yeah. You live in Houston, you are watching from Houston, and it's a city of what, 6-7 million people, right? And 9 people work on your favorite radio station. Yeah. You look at my station right now, it's what, 5 of us, right? Yeah. So the chances of you getting a job is, right?
Yeah.
Mind you, every semester, not just one school, every school, every college in America is graduating people with bachelor's degrees in community every semester.
It's a new wave.
Every semester. So you start thinking, man, and then I will say this too. This is why you see people. You see the old man on the news station. You're like, man, when he gonna retire? He like, I'm dying here.
Like, you don't know how long it took me to get here.
That's why, bro.
Here till I'm gone.
And then you look at the business that we work in, right? And we're broadcasting now, right? Your voice only matures before it gets. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As far as for a man, you think about how we went with the very light voice and the cracky voice, right? And then as you mature, it gets deeper and more sophisticated, bro. That's
I'm still
50
waiting.
and 60. That's 50, 60 years of a career.
Yeah.
And so now, if we circle back around or you rewind on this interview, I was talking about being a football player. Look what God did for me, right? I could have only played football 10, 12, maybe, if you go Hall of Fame, 15, right?
Yeah.
I've been in radio 20, and I'm still on the up. I still get looked at from my peers like, yo, you the new guy.
Wow.
And it's 20 years now. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Right? And so, man, but the sneaking into that All-Star is one of my favorite stories, man. So I spend that 9 months. I get the job, and I'm grinding. We all say it, and I know y'all probably watching this. Man, I'm grinding. I'm trying to get it. Listen, I remember my light bill was $17 in my first apartment. Ooh. I was never at home, bro. Damn. When I say I was grinding, and I'll take you through the grind story. I had the promotions job, right? I was driving the van. That job, it kind of still exists a little bit. I was driving the van. I was the guy that would put up the banners at the clubs.
And 104.9?
104.9, KRBE. Yeah, a lot of those stations, right? Yeah. And so, this story, I was at 104.9 at the time. And that was my job. And I would do it for the morning show. And then they would actually allow me to call in and just do. Marcus is on. Well, I was going by Memphis at the time. Memphis is on the streets. Where you at? Oh man, I'm over here at the HEB. Y'all pull up. I'll give you some shirts or some tickets or whatever. I would do that, right? And so I was doing that for the morning show, and I remember the afternoon drive jock, Mean Green. He's a legend. He's a legend in Houston.
Yeah, I remember that name.
Yeah, Mean Green. He was the afternoon jock, and he was like, "Yo, come do this for my afternoon show," right? So I was getting up in the morning for the morning show to drive the van, and then I would go lunch break or whatever, and I would come back for the afternoon show, right? So now, if you're just a listener on your way to school or work, Marcus is in the street. Now you're on your way home, Marcus is in the street, right? So it felt like I was working all day long, right? Which I wasn't, but I was grinding. And he was like, yo, you need to come up with a feature for this because this is pretty cool. So I called it, I was at Party 1049, so I called it the Party 4 at 4. Yeah. And what I would do was drive to different sides of town, maybe the movie theaters here, the high school here, and I would put people on. We would record them for 4 o'clock, and then it'll be the number 4 song, the number 3 song, and it sounded like this dude is driving, he's in Sugarland, and 4 minutes later, he's in Humble. Like, how's this working? It's technology, right? Yeah. And so I remember the vice president of the program was in town, and I'm going to get to the All-Star. This is how we get there. Vice president of the program was in town, and he says, they were going to lunch, and I was doing a 404, and he goes, who is this dude, right? And so they called the phone that I'm on. He was like, yo, you ever been on the radio? And I just knew I did something wrong. Yeah. He was the vice president of the program. And I knew I did something wrong. And I was like, no, sir, right? He goes, get to the radio station now, right? So I drive up to the radio station. I'm like, man, what did I do?
About to turn in the keys.
Are you freaking out?
And I get there, and he goes, yo, that was dope. This is your opportunity. You come back tonight at midnight. He was like, you never been on. I was like, nah. And I had the experience running the board from my internship, but that didn't count because I wasn't getting paid, right? So he was like, come back at midnight. You need the name of your show, and you're on from 12 to 1. And I go, wow. He's like, yes, this is your break. And he goes, wait, if you're late on your job, you're done, right? Yeah. And I'm like, whoa, okay. You just told me to come to work at midnight. I do the morning show at 5. I do the afternoon show at 2. Where am I going to sleep? Like, where's this coming from? But if you late, you're done. So, man, when I tell you I was grinding, so here we go. Mornings, I'm in the streets. On your way to work or school. On your way home, I'm in the streets, right? Yeah. And if you decide to go out with your homeboys and go to the club, guess who at the club?
Yeah.
The promotions guy that's driving the van, and when you leaving the club, guess who on your radio? Marcus, Memphis, right?
Yeah.
And so I didn't know how to do anything, and so I just called the show the Crunkest. This is how this ages myself. I called the show the Crunkest Hour in radio. So for an hour, I was on my Little John, like I would just literally just yell and be hype. And I decided to, since I was at the club doing the promotions, I would shout out to people, right? Hey man, did y'all see the girl with the white pants on? Blah blah blah. Call the radio station, and that's what I would do. Yeah. And people would call and be like, "Yo, what's her name?" Well, she would call. Yeah. And this is before Instagram and Twitter. Like people was really on the radio
that's
like
how you
that,
would interact,
bro.
Yeah.
And
The first wave of social media.
yeah, bro. So that happened. So mornings, afternoons, promotions, nights. I'm on the air, right? So it felt like I was on the air all the time. So Mean Green goes on vacation. He goes on vacation. No, I'm sorry. Before he goes on vacation, All-Star Weekend hits. And remember, this is before the social media wave. Everybody, it's the same thing now. All-Star Weekend, everybody's in town. Yeah. All of the rappers, all of the actors, everybody's in the city, right? And it was here that year. And it's Friday. I'm doing the Party 4 at 4 live on the radio on All-Star Weekend Friday. Diddy's in town and Nelly, everybody was in town, right? And so we figured it was the NBA celebrity game, the slam dunk, all of that was going on downtown. So Mean Green goes, man, go downtown and see, can you get in? And I'm on the phone with him. I'm like, bro, I can go to jail. This is post 9/11. Yeah. You can go to jail for trying to. Yeah. And he goes, yeah, you can go to jail. And I go,
we'll bail you out.
You got this conversation recorded?
I go, yeah, I could go to jail. Right? This is me being young. And so, bro, I'm on the phone. Live on the air. No, this is no editing, no effects. I'm live on the cell phone. Yeah. And he's playing it over the air. Imagine this is 2003, 4, whatever year that was. And, you know, again, no social media. Everybody's plugged into the radio. This is All-Star Weekend, Friday, on the hip-hop station, right? People are listening to me live. Man, this dude trying to sneak into the All-Star game. So you see me, you hearing me walking up to the door and the security lady like, you need to go down there. And I go down there. Hey, I'm from the radio station. You need to go over. I'm trying to sneak in, and I get in. Wow. I get in, and that was Friday. So over the weekend, that's all people was talking about. Who is this dude? Who is this dude? Mind you, I'm on your radio in the morning, afternoon, club, and overnights. Yeah. And I remember David Banner called me the overnight success. Yeah. Right? Oh, wow. And after he did that, it just took off because people literally thought, man, you blew up overnight. And what it was is you blew up on the radio at night, on overnight radio. Yeah. That's what he was actually saying. So after that, it was, man, everybody was like, yo, you the crazy kid. And it was like, it just took off. Yeah. And then, so fast forward, Mean Green goes on vacation, and I take his spot for that week while he was on. But I had such a buzz about the career. The ratings went through the roof. Oh, wow. And ever since then, I've been on the mic.
That was like going viral.
Yes, yes, exactly. Right. So when I tell people, I'm like, yo, it didn't happen. Nobody really put me on. I put myself in positions to be like, it hurt, right? Like no sleep. I remember seeing a picture. I was like 141 pounds, right? Wow. Just like getting after it, like grinding. This is what I wanted to do, and here we are.
So how would you grind, sleep, man? Yeah, how would you sleep? Because you do the midnight show till 1 a.m. Yeah, then you had to be up at 5.
I slept in the van a lot of times. I tell people, you know, you hear radio people say, man, you hadn't worked in radio unless you slept at the radio station. Man, I've slept under the desk at the radio station. I've slept falling asleep on. I've spent some time at the radio station. Yeah, bro. Yeah.
I wanted to ask about KRB.
What do you want? No, just kidding. What about it?
Because if I'm not mistaken, there was very few people of color there.
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah. At that time, you were
just a board op.
Yeah.
I was the only one. Yes. Yeah. All right. So I'll say this, man. I interviewed at 104.1 KRB. Shout outs to them for taking a chance on me, and anybody that looked like me that work after me now.
He paved the way.
Thank you. Right? I mean, you're welcome. Right now, but I had 6 interviews.
Man,
wow.
I had the interview, the callback, then the callback, then the callback, then the callback, and
they were like, man,
they wanted to make sure they had the right
brother.
There you go. Right. I remember like interview number 3 or 4, I would walk in and the girl at the front desk would be like, hey, Marcus, and open the door. You know what I'm saying? And I would be like, I don't even work here. Like, it didn't even, I would be sitting across from him and we'd be like, what we talking about today? You know, like 6 interviews. And then I get the job and they stuck me on the worst shift to do, which again, if you come work for me today, I'm probably gonna put you on the worst shift because it groomed me. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that was it. But it was 6 interviews, and I just remember in some of them interviews. You know what? I'll say this: the one thing I did learn, and for anybody that's watching it or listening and wants to get into whatever, research what that is, right?
Yeah.
Because I remember one of the interviews, she asked me what was like the top 2 songs on our station, and I was like,
What was it? Blink-182?
no, it was Green Day was one. Kelly Clarkson, Since You Have Been Gone was the other one back then. Yeah, and I don't listen to them. I was trying to work in radio, you know. But I learned that lesson. It was a hard, awkward moment sitting across from people and didn't know.
Nothing.
You know,
what to say.
didn't know nothing about the station. So wherever you're trying to go, if it's not even radio or TV, whatever it is, research it, man. You know what I'm saying? Like you telling me a lot about, research what you're gonna do, and you'll come out a lot more polished.
Yeah. At this time, I had a question. When you say you kind of got into radio, you wanted to be an actor, but did you have a passion for music? Because at church, you used to lead the youth choir, or
I thought radio was stupid, bro.
Okay.
This is how I know. When I tell people to this day, when people say, "Man, Marcus, you gifted for this," it's a true gift, right?
Yeah.
When God is giving me this, right? Because I said this is stupid.
Yeah.
I said that, right? I grew up with a speech impediment. Right, lazy tongue, stuttered, stamper, all of that.
In second grade, your
Second
teacher
grade,
pulled you to the front.
kicked
of the
me
class?
out. Yeah, pulled me out and kicked me out after. Pulled me into the front of the class and said, "Hey, this is an example of what you should not talk like."
Wow.
If she only knew.
That's. I think Jay-Z got a lyric that say, "Dear teacher, I hope you're near a speaker." So yeah, man. So yeah,
That's crazy because. While I was going back and doing research and watching some of your clips, and then hearing you speak now, I guess maybe it's different between TV and being on the radio, but like talking to you is like it seems natural.
Yeah.
But I was able to see like the progression of like where it seemed kind of like unnatural almost.
Yeah.
To the point where it's just like it flows now.
You grew into your voice, or you matured.
Yeah.
You get more polished. Yeah. And again. I'm looking at y'all do this podcast. Y'all are polished, right? You can get into something that you're not ready for, right?
Yeah.
When I worked in TV and I worked at Fox, I had to act like a TV reporter.
Yeah.
Right? I am a radio personality, right? I can just walk into a radio room and get popping. That's my gift.
Yeah.
TV, I had to learn to sit a certain way and turn your head a certain way, and I didn't realize when I get on camera I do this a lot when I talk, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like it's things you have to.
Everybody's going to start pointing it out.
Yeah, but I'm sure. Watch your favorite TV person, and they may do this a lot. They may do this a lot. You have to learn, and I used to have to tell myself, "Yo, Mark, act like a TV reporter. You're not being one. Act like one."
Yeah.
And you have to talk a certain way and over enunciate certain words so that everyone can understand you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you don't have to do that as a radio personality. People are attracted to the personality, the gift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good word for let's say for people like in Christian hip hop that are coming up, or just any artist, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes that's not natural to us, right? So like advice for them would be like you have to grow into it. Like study these rappers that are veterans, like you could say like a Nas or JC.
Yep.
If you want to go in that route and kind of polish yourself, right, into that character of a hip hop artist.
I will say this, and I was on the phone on the way over here talking to an artist, and I was basically saying that. I was like, hey, when you're doing your thing in the booth and the songs that you put out, be the artist. But when you're putting this out, you got to be able to flip the script and be the business person behind that. You know what I mean? Because you can't come into a business meeting room trying to be the rapper.
Yeah.
They're not. Coca-Cola is not signing that. They want to sign the business deal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
I am the business man.
Yeah, I'm not a businessman. I'm a businessman. Yeah, for sure.
So quick question, man. So from those radio stations, how many did you go through till you made it at NGEN?
I lost count doing the research.
Yeah, bro. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Took a stop. Went to TV. 7.5 if you count the one that I created, or 8 if I count that one. So 9 before I stepped into my dream job. And I will say this: I never applied for my dream job.
Man,
wow.
All
right, that's a God story.
Yeah, it's another God story. Yeah, I never applied for the chair that I sit in every day. And this is why I say the word gift.
Yeah.
I didn't apply for this, right? It was too big for me in the flesh to even fathom that you could have a show called Marcus in the morning. You're not putting speakers up. You are flying this plane every day. You're touching souls. That's a gift. Yeah. And I tell myself every day, I'm going to honor this gift because it was given to me, right? Not because like a gift that you didn't work for. Oh yeah, I earned that, right? But I never thought, I mean, wherever you're watching, whatever that biggest dream is, we all have a dream, right? Yeah. And then you hope and pray that it happens, but a lot of times it doesn't, right? Or it doesn't happen like you think it'll happen. Yeah. What happens if that day you said, man, I want to be the owner of Exxon, and you're the owner? You know what I mean? Like you would be like, whoa, thank you, God. Like that happened for me. Yo, I want my own national morning show. Boom.
Tell us how that happened.
I was at, I went back I left Fox as a TV reporter. I went to 93.7 The Beat, which is a hip hop station here. Yeah. And I really, at that point, I was kind of really growing into my walk, like really into my walk. And so I just took a part-time job because I was on my Michael Strahan, to be honest. I wanted to be the only black male in a major market that was on TV and major radio at the same time. And I did that, by the way, right? I'm on Fox Monday through Friday, and I'm on 93.7 The Beats on the weekend, right? Who else was doing it? And I was like, okay, that's a feat. I did that, right? And so I remember my program director coming to me and asking me to fill in for the guy who's going on vacation. And I was like, I ain't trying to get back and do no hip-hop radio. I don't want to do that, right? And he was just like, just fill in. I need you this weekend. I get on the radio, and everybody's like, Memphis is back, because I had left, right? Yeah. And then
Memphis 10.
Yeah, Memphis 10. And it was like, I'm back, and I got bitten by the bug of being on the mic again. That's that gift that I was trying to go be a TV reporter. Yeah. I was walking away from the gift, right? And so I was doing hip hop, and I want to say the big artist then was Kendrick, and they was coming out. J. Cole was just like really just bubbling at that time, right?
2013.
Yeah, 13, 14, yeah. And so I wasn't really feeling it. I was growing more in my faith, right? And I had been gone so long, I had missed the whole era of hip hop almost, right? Yeah. And I remember going to my program director, and I was like, man, I want to do something different. And he goes, what? And I go, I don't know, man. I don't know. Like maybe some Christian hip hop, right? And he goes, man, we make $25 million a year playing ratchet music. You think we're going to stop this for that? And he goes, no disrespect. He goes, but I don't know anything about it. Yeah. And then he goes, does it even make this kind of money? And I'm like, no, right? Yeah. But he goes, so the answer to that is no. That's what he said.
So only we take offerings.
He says no, right? And then he says, but if you put it online and show me that it's a lane for it, I probably would do something with it. I was so mad when I walked out of that meeting, like dejected, right? Thank God he said no. Because I wouldn't be here today if he had to say yes. Because I would have been, yo, let me work this Christian hip hop angle on 93.7 The Beat had he said yes. Yeah. He said no. He said put it online. So I went, created a .com, right? And I'm sitting in a room with my homeboy, and we're trying to figure out a name. And I realized business. Remember we were talking about the business side of things. Yeah. I was looking at iHeart, and they had a bunch. iHeart's powerful, right? Yeah. They had a bunch of beat stations. They had like this station, The Beat in Miami, this station in Houston, The Beat, this station in Vegas, The Beat, this station in Indy, something, The Beat. And I said, okay, I want to put Christian hip hop on iHeart. So I'm going to create something called Blessed Beats, right? Yeah. That way, when it blows up, they can put it on all of the stations, right? Yeah. Business, I'm thinking. And so I created Blessed Beats. And I'm sitting there, and we're trying to get the logo, and I got frustrated, and I just pushed the mouse over, right? And it drugged the word blessed kind of on top of the word beat. And it didn't fit perfectly, but I looked at it and I go, that's it, right? And my boy was like, what do you mean? And I'm like, it says exactly what it is. It's Blessed Beats. It tells you it's beats and it's faith-based. Yeah. And bro, we cleaned it up and we made the logo, right? So then I took my TV skills and I told my boy, run to Best Buy. This is right over on Richmond and 610. Run to Best Buy, go buy 2 cameras, right? He goes and buys 2 cameras and sets them up. And I said, man, get on social media and tell every Christian rapper, come up to 93.7 The Beat. You getting an interview by Memphis 10. Man. And we go on Twitter, bro, they lined up like a car wash, like a real car wash. And we roll camera. And if you YouTube Blessed Beats Media, and just start going back through the videos. You'll see, right? I'm talking about Bizzle, Two Crump, man, just Von One, just people.
Man.
It was one after, and I had been working in TV, so my interview skills was, I didn't need notes.
Yeah.
I just talk, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cameras rolling, and we did 10-minute interviews. But the whole point was, we're in Houston, and I'm trying to make a buzz so my program director can see this.
Yeah.
And you get some of the bigger names in Houston, and everybody's Instagramming and Facebook, and what is Blessed Beats? What is Blessed Beats? And 93.7 The Beat is doing what?
Yeah.
And it kind of just took off, right? And they were the marketing pieces. Yeah. They, all of the rappers, Bizzle, everybody was, I'm at the beat, right?
Yeah.
And so that took off, and my program director comes back, and he was like, yo, you got some numbers on YouTube. And I was like, yeah. So he was just like, I tell you what, and hey, y'all watching this, take this piece of advice. This is one thing that I really learned about business. He goes, I'm going to put you in front of VPs. I want you to pitch this idea so I can put it on the radio. So I go in the room. And right before I walk in the room, he grabs my arm. He goes, listen, you're at the negotiating table. Make sure everybody eats.
Wow.
You're the chef. You bring the food. You make sure. I know what I want.
Yeah.
I want this radio show. But make sure everybody eats. And I was like, translation,
Yeah.
don't go in there trying to get 100% of the pie.
Yeah.
Get on.
Yeah.
Get on and grow, right? And so I go in, and the first thing they tell me is, I love your idea, but it ain't going to be Christian hip-hop. It's going to be gospel. We're going to play Yolanda Adams. We're going to play Kirk Franklin. We're going under the name Blessed Beats. And I was like, this sucks.
Change the whole vision.
This sucks. But
It's a
business,
different energy.
business, I go, I just need the word Blessed Beats on the radio. That's all I need.
Yeah.
That's all I need. So we shake on the deal. We go in. They reprogram the show, and Blessed Beats ran on 93.7 The Beat Sunday mornings, 8 to 10 a.m. Right?
Okay.
Gospel music. Right? Now we know Christian hip hop heads are not listening to gospel, but they hear Blessed Beats is on 93.7 The Beat. But they go to my social media and they see Blessed Beats, and it's all Christian hip hop. So they're not going back to see. They're not getting up on Sunday morning to listen.
Yeah.
They just see that. And NGEN saw that. When the ratings came out, we had gospel music on the hip hop station. Those ratings was through the roof, right? So when NGEN, the Christian hip hop station, looks at the Sheik, and they go, how is this show beating my station? Right?
Yeah.
Who is this dude? Right?
Yeah.
So Chris Chicago and I, we started talking on Instagram. They're not even thinking they're looking at my social media like, this has got to be Christian hip hop. And then people like Lecrae, who wants to, well, at the time really wanted to be on a secular station, he's not coming to NGEN. He's coming up to the beat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what do? They throw him on with me. And so he does an interview on 93.7 The Beat called Blessed Beats, and I throw it on YouTube, and 50,000 views later. Wow. And then I do it again, and it's 100,000. Then Michael Vick catches on, and Ice Cube catches on. And it was just because those people are Christians. They just work in secular platforms.
Yeah.
So, of course, when they wanted to come talk faith or something positive, they was jumping on my show.
Wow.
Right? iHeart loved it. NGEN was like, he's beating my station. Yeah. So then we make the link. Blessed Beats blows up so big, I changed it into a internet radio station. Right? And I had my own morning show, my own afternoon show. And I just started running it, right? Mind you, I still work at the Beat. So NGEN came to me and was like, hey, we got a position for afternoons. Remember this story? I said I never applied for the morning. Never applied. I go over there. I had a 6-hour interview. Round table. I'm sitting with the suits, the marketing people. We're sitting there. And 6 hours later, then a month later, they called me. I ain't get the job. Was mad. When I say mad, I was like, yo, y'all just court me. You know what I mean? Fellas, y'all watching this, you chase a girl and she go out on a date and you shop for her and she don't want you. That's what that was, right? Yeah. And so I was so mad. I was like, you know what? I'm really going to go hard. So I started going extreme. I'm talking about YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, merch, everything. And mind you, my program director told me no. And at this point, it took off on its own. I don't need the station no more, right? Yeah. I got ratings. I don't need you no more. And so they called back like a year later and was like, yo, you want to come back and interview for the afternoon job? And I was like, wow, the person that you had didn't make it in a year.
Yeah.
So I go back, another 6-hour interview. And this one, I went in with no humility. Like, I went in like.
You knew your worth.
Like, oh, y'all call me back now, right? And so I actually wore a hat in the interview. That's how gangster it was.
Well, Fat Joe said the price just went up.
Yeah, the price went up. And so a month goes by, 2 months go by. They don't call me. And at this point, Easter Sunday comes around. 2.5 years ago, Easter Sunday comes around. And I'm sitting on the front row at church. And I literally doing praise and worship. And I was like, God, if they call me, I'm going to tell them no. I've been waiting this long. I'm going to tell them no. It's Easter Sunday. Yeah. Monday, I had to go speak at TSU. I had my phone in my pocket. Here's another nugget for you. If there's a job you want, go in and save the contact. That way, when the phone rings, you know who it is, right? So I put my phone in my pocket and I'm speaking, and it's just zzz, 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 zzz. And after it was over, I remember I got in my car, driving home to Pearland, and I was like, 6 missed calls, and then I called her back, and it was KSBJ, and I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. So the secretary patches me into HR, who was like, hold on, let me call Chris Chicago, and he wasn't even in town; he was in Nashville. And so we're on a 3-way call, and I'm driving angry. Yeah. Right? Chris gets on the phone. If you guys, you're watching, you might know his personality. He's so laid back. He was like, man, bro, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry it took us this long. And I was like, nah, man, it's cool. Ego. It's cool, bro. Right? I'm driving. And he goes, but man, we just wanted to make sure you was the right person. And remember I said this about KRBE. Yeah. So imagine those same feelings coming up. Like, here we go again, right? I'm a black dude. I'm a black dude, man. I'm a black, right? And
were you the first though at NGEN?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no. The morning show girl, she's a black, but black man, right? Yeah. So he's drawing it out. I'm driving, and I'm sucking my teeth, right? And he goes, man, unfortunately, you're not the person for the job. Right. It took I won't even say that. It took God, because I wanted to cuss. Yeah. I wanted to say, well, why you calling me? Right. And he goes, because we've been praying and fasting as a station, and you're the face of the station. You're the morning show. Wow. Y'all seen the movie Pursuit of Happiness?
Yeah.
Bro, I pulled over on Highway 288 in West Belford. Wow. Right. I pulled over on the feeder road, and I'm on the phone joint. They're still on the phone. Yeah. And I get out the car, and I'm just praising God in full tears, like right there, right? And I remember Anna, she was on the phone crying. Susan was on the phone crying. Chris was like, man. And I wanted to be like, y'all, listen, this is my dream. Yeah. I didn't apply for this. Like, I applied to be afternoons, which was big. Yeah. But that was too big for me, but God. Right? Yeah. But God, bro. And so, and I remember when I got home crying. I was like, God, listen, I will honor this. I will leave this place better than where it is. Man. And so, bro, when I go to work, if y'all ever hear me I'm kind of hoarse now, but if you hear me on the air and I get hoarse, it's authentic. Yeah. I'm going for it. Every day I go for it. On a rainy day, slow, I'm in there like it's the Super Bowl every day, because I'm like, God, gift. Yeah. That's crazy. Gift. Thank you. Yeah. You know what I mean? So
man, it's crazy that you bring up the Pursuit of Happiness. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have to make a movie with that same energy and emotion. And it's gonna be titled The Gift.
Hey, I'm telling you. That's
touching, man.
Bruh. So that's that story.
Since we're speaking about NGEN, man, I heard that they're gonna go off
yeah, man.
They're going on digital.
Off of FM.
Off of FM.
Yes.
So they're going digital.
Yeah, and I don't know when you guys are watching this, but we're November 2021 right now. Yeah. So in a week, November the 8th, whenever y'all are watching this, or whenever this is playing on rebroadcast, November the 8th, 2021, NGEN is moving off of a FM to strictly digital.
Oh wow! So for people that don't fully grasp it, when they get in the car,
it's gone. Bye bye. Yeah, man.
And how do people tune in now?
They tune in through the app, right? Yeah. Okay. Which is just another interesting part, because I knew, I can say it now, I knew this moment was coming back in January. Okay. So imagine knowing you one of the only people in the world that knows this is happening in November, in January, and I still go to work every day and perform like nothing's. You know what I mean?
Giving it 100.
You never know. You never know what God has for you. But yeah, for those people that are brand new or hearing what is NGEN right now, it's a online digital platform. NGENradio.com is the app. You can tune in that way.
Is there? I mean, if you don't mind me asking, is there a reason for it? And we could cut this part.
Well, what I was going to say is it. y'all need more money? Because we could start offering right here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No,
We get it going.
listen,
Tithes and offerings
if you start
today.
offering right now, cash out Bless Beats. How about that? That goes to me.
There you go. There you go.
Okay, so I won't say it's money.
Yeah.
I'd say it's business.
Yeah.
Right? Because again, you hear me say, I go to the station and I go for it every day.
Yeah.
I get to answer the phone and hear the suicide call and the lady crying for it. I get those, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
And on any job, wherever you're watching this from, on any job, when you a worker, now granted, I got the best worker job ever. I'm the face of a radio. I'm LeBron to the Lakers, right? But you're still a player on the team, right?
Yeah.
There's suits. I call them suits. I joke about it. I call it suits all the time, right? There's suits on your job, wherever you work, gas station, mall, there's suits, management, corporate, right?
Yeah.
They're not on the grounds. They don't get to, they don't see that, right? They see numbers, right? They see reports every quarter and they go, hey, we didn't have this many in sales, or we don't have this many listeners. They see that. And then you add 3 months and you have trends. And then somebody else business, suits might be somewhere on a yacht. I don't know. I'm making this part up.
Yeah.
But they could be on a yacht somewhere and somebody goes, aha, we can sell spoons. And they go, good idea. Let me change my business. That's what happens on business trips. Right. So when I say wasn't money, I think it was business because they came and said, hey, I think, right, NGEN is a place where the now or the younger generation is, right?
Yeah.
Now, I said this today, and I'm not afraid to say it. I understand the assignment of the job. Remember when I was saying I prayed for this and I'm going to go hard? I'm going to go hard whether it's on app, radio, shoestring conversations. Like, I'm going to go hard because God gave me this, right?
Yeah.
But if you ask Marcus, what do you think about this switch? I don't think it's such a good idea. And I'll tell you why. I get to talk to the listeners, right?
Yeah.
And we're going for the generation that is on all of the social medias, the TikToks and the Instagram. And that's usually a younger crowd. But the problem is, I think as a people, we still think of the word hip hop and social media for young people, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you really, really think about it, my older brother is almost 50 and all he knew is hip hop, right? Hip hop's been around that long,
Yeah.
right? And so the younger generation, I got a 9-year-old who don't listen to music, period. He gets his music from the snippets on TikTok.
Yeah.
They don't listen to whole songs,
Yeah.
right? So you're trying to go where they are, but they don't listen to this no more, right? We come from a ringtone era, a downloadable era.
Yeah.
We listen to music. They don't listen to music. They listen to 12 seconds of a dance song, right?
Yep.
And so when I'm talking to people in the morning, I don't talk to kids.
Yeah.
I talk to the kids that I talk to, their parents put them on the phone on the way to school.
Yeah.
So they're between the ages of 4 and 9. That teenage, they're off doing something else. Now, if NGEN was like, we're going to morph into what they are, cool. But now you're trying to out Netflix.
Yeah.
You're trying to
Spotify.
Yeah, you're trying to out
Yeah.
right? You're trying to out ESPN, right?
That's what I was gonna ask you. I was like, isn't that like challenging? Because now you're going against Spotify, Apple Music.
Absolutely.
And they're pouring in millions.
Think about this. On your Spotify and all your app, you create your playlist.
Yeah.
When I go to my playlist, it's every song that I want,
Yeah.
right? And so this is what you're going against. So you're trying to tell me, Marcus, I'm not going to listen to what I put in. I'm going to listen to what you play.
Yeah.
The second I play a song you don't like, I'm gone.
True.
Yeah.
That's the uphill battle. However, I still say what I was just speak about Marcus in the morning show. What that offers that Spotify and all of that can't is I can touch souls. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can get out and and so with that, that's an angle that we could be going to.
Yeah. Is it do you see this like as a trend that other radio stations are gonna follow?
Man, I've been in radio so long. I hear, man, radio is going dead. I've been hearing this since 2005, man. Like, I just think here's something different. I don't know what kind of car you driving wherever you watching this, right? But the majority of cars now, right? We don't have the dials in the car anymore. When you get in the car, you can plug up your phone, right? And or they got the apps on the screen.
Yeah.
So I don't think radio is going anywhere. How you listen is going anywhere. For example, you can have a 212 area code. Where I'm from, that's long distance. but there's no such thing as long distance phone calls anymore, right?
Yeah.
Because you can almost pull up a Google number and pick your area code. No such thing as a long distance call anymore. Yeah. So I don't think radio is going into places. I think the way we're listening to radio is going places. And then the fact that now this phrase called on demand, oh, that's a monster, right? This interview here is on demand. Y'all can stop right now or go back and say what he said. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That you can't get that with radio. You know, once I say something, it's
gone.
Yeah.
Repeat that phone number.
Exactly, it's gone. So yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, bro.
I got a question. Any tips that you want to give out right now, whether it be on Blessed Beats or on NGEN, for any artist that's like, how do I get my music on NGEN radio?
Okay.
Are you the deciding factor? Because some people, they're like, man, you be hating. Playing my music, man. I had a hit.
That comes with the territory. I get that all the time, man. Well, you ain't playing my song, bro. You play Lecrae every other song. I'm like, listen. Yeah. Did y'all hear me say about the Suits a second ago? Yeah. All right, so let's break it down to sports, and then I'll break it down to music.
Okay.
LeBron doesn't get to pick the team he plays. He just plays what comes up, right? Yeah. So when it comes to radio, I don't get to pick the artist that's the next star, right? You have Suits. They look at stuff like Spotify. They look at who's popping on social media, whose TikTok is going. Put it like this. Remember Andy Mineo coming in hot?
Yeah.
Man, that record is what, 5 years old?
Yes.
Right?
Dang.
Yes.
And it's the #1 TikTok today. And so guess what? We're playing it. Hip hop stations are playing it. This song is 5 years old, right? So people look at what's going on because at the end of the day, radio is not about music. And when artists realize this, radio is not about music. It's an avenue to get you to stay on so that we can get advertising.
Yeah.
Right? So it's advertising surrounded by a few songs. Right? People say radio. I listen to radio for music. No, you don't. You just don't know. You listen to radio for commercials.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you do the math, 60 minutes, right? If a song is 3.5 minutes, you can possibly play 12 songs. Right? Now we're almost to the 40-minute mark or 45-minute mark. And if I play 4 commercials and each stop set, that's the hour. We're done. We're going to play more commercials than you play music. Yeah. People don't even realize that, right? So when it comes to your music, how you get your music on, yes, DJ on air at NGEN Radio. Let me say it again and rewind. DJ on air at NGENradio.com. I don't even know where the email goes to.
Oh.
I've never found it.
Wow.
But if you're asking me, DJ on air.
Yeah, send your music there, but the Cash App, I'll link it at the bottom. That's where you can send it.
So that's where it is. I don't know who picks it, right? Yeah. But I will say I've seen songs blow up on social media. Dear artists, listen, work your social game because you strong-arm TV, you strong-arm radio, you strong-arm Apple Music. If you pop on social media, they have no choice. Right?
Yeah.
You find a song, I'm gonna take my horse to the that song whack, man.
Yeah.
Tell me that song. But you hear it so much, you start bobbing your head to it.
Yeah.
He strong-armed the game to where everybody was forced. What was Soulja Boy? Crank that. Tell me that's a good song. It's not.
Nah.
You strong-armed the industry to the point where, so that. But you want it on Blessed Beats. It's a national show. It's 89 cities, 5 in Canada, 1 in Africa, but that is blessedbeatsmedia@gmail.com. Now, I do have Pool to play it on there.
Yeah.
I got the Pool. So it's blessedbeatsmedia@gmail.com. I should have worn a Blessed Beats shirt, but Beats is spelled with a Z, BEATZ, blessedbeatsmedia@gmail.com.
Don't be sending no crazy music that you know ain't good.
Well, I try not to do that, right? Okay. But then, even if your music is not good and you want to be a businessman, I could do it right up on you.
Okay.
Right? Because if I play whack music, ain't nobody listening to the show.
That's true.
Yeah. So.
Okay, man. Shift the culture.
Yeah, bro. Changed my life.
In what way?
Because I'm not an artist.
Okay.
And I get fussed at by saying I'm not an artist.
You're on Spotify now.
Yeah, and I got a new song out too, and that's going crazy. But
no turning back.
Yeah, never going back. Never going back. Shift the culture, man. Pandemic happened, and I was sitting at home and doing what everybody else is doing, watching TV, right? And on the NBA TV channel, you saw Steph, you saw LeBron, you saw all the stars get up on there and go, hey, man, y'all stay home, be safe. And then later I'll flip the TV and watch NFL Network, and you seeing Deion Sanders and all the NFL stars. Hey, man, stay home, be safe, be with your family. And then I went in the other room, and Lifetime was on, and you saw like your favorite actors, hey, guys, stay home and be safe. Yeah. And I said, man, where's Meg Thee Stallion and the Baby and Jay-Z and Beyonce? Where they at?
Yeah.
And I thought about it, and I was like, they can't do that. They too busy telling you shoot your brother and kill this person, and I'm gonna take him. And I go, see, it's time. Moments like this when the whole world is on the same page, y'all can't even get on this because you made your money giving us poison.
Yeah, that's deep.
Right. So if I come out, if Meg, which she could, but it'll hurt her brand if she came out and say, "Man, love on your neighbor," and then you hear her song say, "I'm gonna take your man." Yeah. Come on now, right? And so I was like, "Yo, it's time out for that." And so I was like, "It's time to shift the culture." So then I'm sitting on the couch and I was like, "Man, I'm gonna make a song." And so I went in my phone, and again, I got a huge morning show, and I said, "Man, let me just reach out to some of my industry friends," and was like, yo, I'm about to drop a song. You want to get on? And artists know, Marcus got a morning show. If I get on the song is going to play. Yeah.
It's a smart business
move. A very smart business move. And so, man, I got some of the biggest artists on the first joint. 116 Beat Breaker produced it, which is Lecrae's drummer. Yeah. And then Crae, I heard he was like, "Yo, I'm gonna get on it," but he was working on his album, and it was like, "I can't get you a verse." And I was like, "Bet." And then Derek Minor came aboard, and Nuku, which
killed it, man.
Yeah, he
Derek
killed
Minor,
it. He killed it. Eli, they sent me Eli Lefty, who was supposed to be like the next big thing, but I don't think he popped after that. But man, they jumped on that and smashed the record, right? And when they smashed the record, I'm not an artist, and dear artists, take it from me, it was hard to get my song. No, it wasn't that hard for me. It wasn't that hard for me. I got the morning show, right? So I went into the suits and I was like, "Yo, I got this song." Right. And I knew they was like, here we go. You're an artist now, right? Yeah. And when I played it, they was like, "Yo, where'd you get these artists on?" And I was like, I just asked. And man, they changed the moniker of NGEN. If you turn it on NGEN now, you hear the word shift the culture 1,000 times. Yeah. To the point I had to sit with the lawyers. And I didn't come up with that.
I thought that was the motto for NGEN.
Bro, they jumped on it. And this last power drive, we were wearing Shift the Culture shirts. Man. And I heard Eminem say this years ago, and I was like,
copyrighted.
I should have. Eminem said he knew he had a hit with that, "Hi, my name is." He said when it became so annoying, he knew it was a hit. Yeah. And when I tell you, I see people say, "Man, Mr. Shift the Culture and Shift the Culture and Shift the Culture," and I'd be like, "Oh, I don't want to hear it no more." Man. And the station is still playing. It's still playing on stations across the country. It just went crazy. I think at one point it hit the Christian Billboard charts. Think about that. I've never put out a song that's on the billboards.
That's crazy.
So then I just put out the new record, Never Going Back, for anybody who's been through anything and graduated, or God gave you the grace to go through that thing that you like, "Man, I'm not going back to that alcohol." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I ain't going back to the club. That's one of the ones I'm not doing. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't never going back. So this one, I decided to give the underdog a chance, right? And I was like, I don't want no big name on it. At this point, Marcus in the Morning is the name, right? So I was trying to do the DJ Khaled, and I was like, yo, I'm gonna reach out to some of my favorite artists, and I'm gonna put my favorite artists who don't even know each other on the same song, and now it's cooking.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And who's on that track? Who's on that?
Three the Soul Trapper, who changed his name so much. Yeah. He's one of my favorites right there. B Squad Music. Yeah. B Squad Music is on it. Those are the only two on it. And then this is gospel singer Jessica Williams is on it. But watch this. There's a remix to Never Going Back that I hadn't put out yet, right?
Okay.
And I'll tell you. Kingdom Music is in the building. I'll say that. Okay. I'll just say it just like that. Oh man! All right, and whatever aspect in that, I'm just gonna say Kingdom Music is in the building.
Hey, when's that gonna drop?
I was trying to push it for after Power Drive, but I ain't pushed it out yet. I'm still working the regular record, and I'm supposed to be like a music video coming up. I don't know, man. I'm not an artist. I get fussed at about, Marcus, you need to do the artist thing, and I'm like, yo, I'm not an artist. So yeah.
Hey, that's gonna be lit, man. You gotta do it with Butterflies. Ain't going back to it soon, man.
For sure.
Man, Marcus, I just want to say, like, everything you've been through, bro, it's a testimony.
It is. My whole story is this.
And you ain't lying when you say it's been God.
It's all God. Dude, I am the most introverted, nervous person that you probably gonna meet. Like, I could almost be quoted as standoffish because I'm such an introvert, right? But when I get in front of the mic, I literally say, yo, God maximize the message and minimize the messenger.
Amen.
I say it all the time. And I just be like, yo, people will be like, yo, you prayed and I was crying. And I'm like, no, I didn't. Trust me, I did not do that. Yeah. So yeah.
Man, Marcus, I usually say this, but I really do mean it, man.
Yeah.
You're a real one, bro.
Appreciate that, sir.
For what you've done for the culture.
Yeah.
Shifting the culture.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
No, but and you just continue to push forward, man. That's the amazing thing.
I'm gonna say this, and we said this off the air. Let's Chop It Up, the podcast. I want to interview y'all on my platform.
Man.
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why, because y'all out here grinding, bro. Like y'all we're doing some stuff. So bro, let's do it. Let's do it. Yeah.
Man, we
we
appreciate
with it.
you.
Yeah.
Hey, but with that being said, this has been the Let's Chop It Up podcast. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah.
Go look up our brother, man. He been putting in work. He gonna continue putting in work for the kingdom.
Yeah,
you know
man.
what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
But with that being said, y'all be blessed.
We out.
Let's chop it up.